Recording in progress.
All right, Madam Secretary, we'll do a call to order.
Okay. Rob Pierce,
Here.
James English,
Here.
Wayne Handrock,
Here.
Christopher Bronzik,
Here.
Dale Way.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you.
Chris, can you go ahead and announce what this board is and the date and the time you're starting and all of that for the recording, please?
Sure. So this is the Parcel Map Review Committee, and this is the meeting of August 8th, 2024. Legal, we have the ethics law announcement.
Sure thing. All right, so committee members are reminded that if with respect to any matter or any person coming before the committee today, number one, you've received a gift or loan. Number two, you have a pecuniary interest. Number three, you have a commitment in a private capacity, such as a family, employment, business, or similar relationship. Or number four, if you've provided representation or counseling before an agency to a person or entity for compensation within the last year on a matter that's being considered this afternoon, please remember to disclose that gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation at the time the matter is being considered. And please remember that you must abstain from deliberation or voting on the matter if it's clear that the gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation would materially affect the independence of judgment of a reasonable person. Committee members are also reminded that under the bylaws, if you've had any contact outside this meeting with any persons interested in a matter coming before the committee today, you should disclose the nature of that contact at this meeting. I'm also going to go ahead and read the Zoom instructions. This meeting is being held via Zoom webinar. To participate via Zoom, you can log into the Zoom webinar at the link that's found on the first page of today's agenda. Or you can join by typing zoom.us into your computer browser, click join a meeting on the Zoom website, and enter meeting ID 831-3388-3067. You can also join by telephone only by dialing 1-669-900-9128 and enter meeting ID 831-3388-3067 and press pound. For those members of the public that are joining us via Zoom today, you can provide public comment during public comment periods by utilizing the raise hand feature. And to provide public comment via telephone only, you can press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to mute and unmute. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3 is the appeal procedure. So most decisions rendered by the Parcel Map Review Committee are appealable to the Board of County Commissioners. If you disagree with the decision of the Parcel Map Review Committee and you want to appeal its action, you may do so in writing within 10 calendar days from the date that the decision being appealed is reduced to writing, filed with the Secretary of the Parcel Map Review Committee, and mailed to the original applicant and the proceeding being appealed in accordance with Washoe County Code. Please call the planning staff immediately at 328-3600 for information on the appeal procedure and the application fee. Madam Secretary, do we have any public comment?
I do have one hand raised. Art O'Connor, if you could please unmute and state your first and last name for the record.
New window popped up. My name is Art O'Connor, and I'm here to comment on item 7.
Okay, would you like to wait until then to make your comment?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I don't have anything to say in public comment.
No worries,
I've
sounds good.
had to
Thank you.
endure that in a number of meetings. So,
No worries, thank you so much.
okay.
Okay, no further hands raised for public comment.
Thank you. So item 5 is approval of the August 8th, 2024 agenda. I assume everybody's been able to review the agenda. Does anyone have any comments, corrections, or edits, or can I get a motion?
James move to approve the agenda.
Wayne Handrock, second.
So I got a James for the motion and Wayne as the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please say nay. Moving on to approval of the July 11th, 2024 draft minutes. Again, was everybody able to review those minutes? Rob?
No, I was just going to make a motion. Sorry,
Oh.
I didn't. I thought you were done. I move that we accept them as written.
Do I have a second?
Wayne Handrock. Wayne Handrock, second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, please say nay. Next up, we have item 7. These are the project review items. So 7A, we're looking at tentative parcel map case number WTPM 24-0002 for Michaela. This, we've got planner Julie Olander here to make a presentation. Julie?
Thank you, Chris. Julie Olander for the record. I'm going to share my screen. This is different. So this is a parcel map, a tentative parcel map to divide 17.65 acres parcel into 3 parcels, 2 parcels that will be 5 acres and 1 that'll be 7.65 acres. The parcel is located out in Washoe Valley. Here's a visual, a vicinity map showing where it's at, the 3 part. And then, okay, and this is the layout of the parcel. So there's the one at the north that's going to be 7.66 acres, and then the 2 to the south that are 5 acres each. Sorry. These parcels, the parcel is zoned medium density rural, which allows a potential 4 lots. They're proposing 3 lots. The minimum lot size is 4 acres, and they're proposing 5 acres. Okay. Oops. Whew. Went too fast. Is it showing as a oops?
It's still showing as the motion for me.
Okay, let's go back. Maybe I'll unshare. We're going to try this again. Okay. The subject, is it okay now?
Yes, it is.
Yes, we're on evaluation.
Okay. All right. Evaluation. Okay. The subject parcel is undeveloped and covered basically with native vegetation, and it's relatively flat with few 15 to 30% slopes. The should be previous. I apologize. Previous tenant. There was a previous tenant map in the area. PM 15-0018, and it included a note that limited access to Michaela Way with no more than 2 single-family residents. So the 2 southern proposed 5-acre parcels will have access to Michaela Way. However, the northern parcel, the 7.66-acre parcel, will need to have another access made available for that before the final map can be signed, and that's in the conditions of approval. And I'll just go back up to show you that a little bit on the map. So over here, you can see the dark black outline of the 3 parcels, and you can see where I think it's pronounced Michaela Way, it comes in and it can access the 2 5-acre parcels. However, that northern parcel will need to, the property owner will need to develop another access point for that parcel before the final map can be signed. Oops. And I have a possible motion, and I'm available for any questions. And Art O'Connor is on the Zoom call and is also available for questions. And I believe you might want to speak also.
Thank you. Is the applicant prepared to speak? Do they have a presentation for this item, or?
Okay, Art, now's your chance to go ahead and address the committee. If you would just unmute and state your first and last name for the record, please. Mr. O'Connor, if you would just press the unmute button.
How did that work? Did
Okay,
that work?
we can hear you. Please state your first and last name for the record.
Okay, my name is Art O'Connor.
Thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay, so this, I've been actually working on subdividing this parcel for 10 years. And it's laid out the way it was. George Teal, the previous owner, and myself laid out 10 years ago. So the deal then was I would get all this stuff approved like I am now, and in payment for my work, Mr. Teal would give me the north lot. He moved to Texas and dropped this on me as he went out the door. And so I've been working since a year ago, January, to get this process completed. The reason for the 5-acre lot minimum is that it's the state minimum for well and septic. There is no public sewer or water system in this area or anywhere within a couple of miles. It is in West Washoe Valley, adjacent to or across the street from Davis Creek Park. The field is not native grass. It was previously used for grazing cows, and that is actually pasture grass and irises growing out there. So it's a lovely piece of property. The only thing wrong with this property is it is adjacent to I-580. However, I'm a civil engineer, and there's a product out there called insulated concrete form, and it provides excellent sound deadening. I will not hear a thing. 2 semis could get in a wreck out there, and I wouldn't hear it. So I don't have any problems with that, the noise or anything like that. And besides which, the house would probably be 300 feet away from I-580. There are no trees growing on the property when I bought it. I have planted a couple of small ones, but it's all pasture grass. You ran cows on it and they mowed everything down. So and it doesn't have that much slope. It's not 15%. I supplied a topo map with this thing. I had it flown. And so those contours on that map are 1-foot contours, not 2-foot contours. And so that cuts your slope down in half. It's closer to 5 to 8% across the lot. So there's no 30% slope. Well, there is on those tiny little hills, mounds of rock that they harvested out of this and piled up. But other than that, the rest of the property, the majority of the property is less than 10% slope. So it's pretty flat for around here. Anyway, so this town, a lot of history. This was this property overlays the town site of Ophir, which the track map for the town site of Ophir was recorded 7 months before Nevada became a state. The guy that was living on the property and owned the lots that are underneath my property was named Douglas. And that falling down stone structure across the highway near the off-ramp to get to Davis Creek Park as you're coming from the south is actually Douglas's old house. It dates from 1860, 1859, somewhere in there. And so there's a lot of history. There's a monument out on the old US 395, which runs parallel to I-580, and it's actually the old road. There's a monument out there to the town of Ophir. A lot of people think that's where the mill was, but no, the mill was down at Bellevue, and they had a road that went up jumbo grade and up to Virginia City. And that is actually the easiest route to get to Virginia City, but the guy charged too high a toll and then moved down to Toll Road and then Geiger Grace. So Geiger Grace is probably the hardest route to get to Virginia City. But at any rate, a lot of history in this thing. And I would be happy to live out there on the north lot. That's good. That's going to be. They have already set all the property corners. They did a previous map, Jason, that has Michaela Way in it, and so I'm very familiar with all the stuff down here, and I'd appreciate it if you guys could help me out and approve this map. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
There are no hands raised for public comment.
Thank you. Going back to the committee members, does anyone have any questions for the applicant or staff? Seeing none. I guess my only question, Julie, is for the access to the 7.62 acre parcel. So there's a condition that basically states there's access required for that.
Julie Olander, for the record, yes, they are conditioned to have that access established before the map can be finalized, and that's from engineering. I don't know if Wayne can add on to that at all. I'm not sure if he's familiar with it, but that was added in by engineering. So I think Mr. O'Connor understands that requirement also.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was on the record that access had to be established before final map recordation. Does anyone else have any questions? I see Mr. O'Connor with his hand raised. Mr. O'Connor, did you want to speak to that question real quick?
Yes, sir. I made an application to the state of Nevada in March of last year for the access for the north parcel. And they denied it on the grounds that at that time, there was only one parcel there, all 17.65 acres. And it already had access, Michaela. Even though that was limited to 2 parcels, I did not have the third landlocked parcel, and therefore they could not grant it. However, they told me that when the parcel map is recorded, I resubmit the application and they will sell me that 2 acres that's out there. So that is shown on my map, and because they told me they would grant it. It's important to note that 2 acres added to the 7 is less than 10 acres, and I cannot subdivide it. I am thinking they're going to do an abandonment, and so it will not create a new parcel. they will not deed it to me as a separate parcel or something like that. I think they'll do an abandonment, and that means it accrues to my property. And perhaps Wayne's going to make me file some kind of record or survey of that. But at any rate, we'll get down to that when the state gives me the land. So it's important to note that I'm purchasing it. It will be on the tax rolls. I'm not asking for an encroachment permit. I think if I'm going to encumber the property, I should be paying taxes on it. I don't think I should ride for free on state coattails. But anyway, so that answers that question. And I did send a copy of the application to Wayne, so he has that. And but like I said, he'll give me direction on what kind of mapping he's going to want after the state gives me the property.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, that answers my questions. If anyone else has any questions, if not, I'd welcome a motion.
Engineering's opinion on this was they did not want to grant the third parcel until there was established.
Wait, Wayne, will you put the speaker piece closer to your?
Sorry.
Awesome. Okay.
Sorry about that. Engineering's thought on this was that they did not want to grant the third parcel without it already having access. It didn't want to create a landlocked parcel that theoretically in the future will have access.
Okay. So did engineering not support this parcel map at all, or
they supported it, but there needs to be access supplied to the third parcel before it's recorded.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarification. I'd welcome a motion.
Yeah, I think that's what he said, that before it's recorded, it has to have access. So, yeah, I'm good with making a motion. This is Rob. For the record, I move that after giving reasoned consideration and information contained within the staff report and the information received during the public meeting, that the Washoe County Parcel Map Review Committee approve parcel map case number WTPM 24-0002 for Art O'Connor, subject to the conditions of approval included in Exhibit A with the staff report, and make the determination that the following criteria is or will be adequately provided to the pursuit of Washoe County Code Section 110.606.30E, and that is 1 through 12, I think they are.
Do I have a second?
James English, second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. This item passes unanimously. Next up, we have item 7B. This is for tentative parcel map case number WTPM 23-0015. This is, we have Tim Evans here to provide a presentation to us. Tim?
Tim is on as a panelist. I see him.
Tim's delayed a couple minutes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
So Tim, when you're ready, just go ahead and provide a presentation for this item.
Will do. Bear with me for a second. My computer's acting up. right. Okay, there we go. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now you can. Okay, there we go. All right, so the case before you today is tentative parcel map case number WTPM 23-0015 for the Pleasant Valley Lift Station. So to give a bit of background on this project, it is a 5-acre parcel, and it in the surrounding area it's similarly developed with single-family dwellings and some accessory structures. And it's located in the South Valley's planning area, and in the property zone medium density rural, medium density suburban, and low density suburban. So this request for this parcel map actually came before the Parcel Map Review Committee on March 14th, 2024, and was for the creation of a 480 square foot parcel. And it was going to be broken out of that 5-acre parcel. So the resultant parcels would be 4.99 acres and 0.01 acres, or that 480 square feet that I mentioned earlier. So here's the site plan itself showing the subject parcel. And to give a little bit of background, as I mentioned earlier, so this property is zoned medium density suburban, medium density rural, and low density suburban. The 480 square foot parcel itself is completely located within the MDS zoning. And being that this is a smaller parcel that was approved, and it was allowed pursuant to Washoe County Code Section 110.404.10, reduction in size, which allows a parcel that is being created for the dedication to a public agency to be created such that it can be smaller in size than that allowed by the zoning. So, as far as the findings goes, the Parcel Map Review Committee was able to make all 8 required findings as detailed on pages 11 and 12 of the staff report. And it was approved on March 14th, as mentioned earlier this year. So why is this coming before the Parcel Map Review Committee again? So the reason for it coming before the Parcel Map Review Committee is that the applicant, after speaking with engineering in more detail in relation to this project and after it was approved, has decided that they no longer want to move forward with this project and pursue the parcel map waiver. So staff is recommending that the Parcel Map Review Committee rescind approval of this project, and due to the applicant stating that they no longer want to proceed with the project. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Do we have an applicant that would like to make a presentation or address the committee?
I don't see any hands raised
Okay.
for applicant or representative.
Do we have any public comment?
There are no hands raised for public comment.
So bringing it back.
Okay, wait, we got one last minute. Someone with the title iPad, please state your first and last name for the record.
Okay, yep. This is Rick Blake calling or talking. I understand the rescission of this, but Tim, you were saying that he wants to abandon the project, and I don't know what that means. Is the project the building of the lift station, or is the project the building of the houses?
Okay, does that conclude your public comment?
Well, I'm not able to get an answer, am I?
Well, you'll have 3 minutes to go ahead and speak to the board, and if they choose, they can answer it after, but these 3 minutes are just for you.
No, I have really nothing to say since the applicant's rescinding his application, I guess, for the division of the parcel. So no, I guess I'm good to go if I could get that question answered. I'm just curious as to what that means.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other public comment?
There are no other hands raised for public comments.
Bringing it back to the committee, do we have any questions for the applicant or staff?
I got a question for Tim. Tim, this is Rob. For the record, under your motion, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it says that you want us to approve the parcel map case number, not approve the taking it away.
Yeah, so
Rescinding.
I can address that. So as far as that was the staff report that just ended up being uploaded. It was just to kind of give you more background from the original approval. There shouldn't necessarily be a motion in there stating that. The motion that would be recommended by staff would be that you rescind approval, not make approval. So the staff report that you are seeing is the staff report that was given on March 14th.
Okay.
Rob, will if you look at the agenda, so there's a blurb towards the end of the agenda language within the case description, which talks about rescinding. That'll be, I believe,
What page was that on?
page 3.
All the way up there.
But do we have any other questions from the committee? Tim, so we had that member of the public that had a question regarding clarification on your end. Is that something you could clarify before we make a motion?
Yeah. So as far as what's proposed, is the applicant, like I said, after speaking with engineering, doesn't want to move forward with the project. So he wants to completely withdraw from the project, not pursue it at all. And so the best path forward for this project is to rescind approval, and there would be no project period that would be able to go forward. Nothing. It would basically be like it never happened. We just went through the process. He was given approval and approval was taken away. So he wouldn't be able to move forward with creating the lift station.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, that just has to do with the lift station, not the previous parcel maps, correct, Tim?
Yes, exactly. So it would just be in relation to that.
Thank you. So if we have no other comments or questions for staff for the applicant, I'll go ahead and attempt to make this motion. So I move to rescind the approval of tentative parcel map case number WTPM 23-0015, Pleasant Valley Lift Station, based off of further discussions between the applicant and Washoe County Engineering, and the applicant no longer wishing to pursue the parcel map waiver. Legal, is that sufficient?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll
So
second.
Rob, oh, go ahead. Wayne got it.
Wayne, you were second?
Sure.
Dale.
Oh, Dale. Sorry.
Dale. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. Motion passes. Thank you. So agenda item 8, we've got reports and future agenda items. Does anybody on the committee have any future agenda items for us? Not seeing any. Ms. Gustafson, do we have any legal updates?
Nothing from me today. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, do we have any public comment?
No hands raised for public comment.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Right.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.